Hello and welcome to this Tech and Trains channel video, and in this video I will be doing a review of the Train Tech automatic sensor signals which were brought out a couple of years ago. These signals are, the particular one I'm doing a review of, is the 3 aspect signal, so it has the green, yellow and red LEDs, and it comes with the power connections here, the red override in the middle, and the 2 other connections here, which are full block control. On their own, the signals can just work on timer. So if I brush my finger over it, it goes to red, and then we'll change to yellow in a bit, and then green. Even having a particularly large layout myself, I have found that trains can go around the loop and they can come back to it before it's changed. I would like to see an adjustable timer on this, but unfortunately this particular model, I'm not sure if any do, have an adjustable timer, so that will probably be a thing for the future. In terms of blocks, supposedly you can make these work in blocks. I do have 2 of these, but the wires they supplied to make them work in blocks were not actually long enough to connect the 2 signals, so I don't have enough single core wire. Apparently you have to use single core wire to connect the signals to work in blocks. Another feature of the signal is the red override. This supposedly can be controlled by a mimic switch. However, I found that I don't have a mimic switch, so I just tried wiring up to the power and then putting the power on and seeing if it turns red. Unfortunately, without a mimic switch, I couldn't get it to turn to red, even though I was doing exactly what it said in the instructions. So the main part of this signal is the sensor. For me, you were supposed to clip it into the track, but I just slotted it like slightly under the track because I didn't particularly want to chop the legs off just in case I went for DCC. So I slotted it under the track thinking it should work. It's like a millimetre away from the trains. Unfortunately, it only picks up about just over half my trains. And Train Tech said in the instructions that if the thing doesn't pick up the trains that are required for it to pick up, you should paint the underside of the train in white, or paint patches in white. Now, I know some people may do this, but I don't think there are many modelers out there who would paint the underside of the train, part of it, white for a sensor signal. Furthermore, the sensor doesn't always pick up trains straight away. It can have a bit of touch and go if it picks up the train or not. It picks up the Batman Class 350s quite well, whereas Class 156s by Hornby tend to not like going over it particularly. But the signal works by picking up, I think the sensor picks up white on underneath the train, since they say painting it white. How many trains have an underside that's white? Not many. And that was my concern with this particular signal. Many features on the signal which allow you to use it to quite good performance. However, there are some things I would like to see improved, because one of the issues with having the wiring for the automation automatically in the signal is it's not easy to override the values. For example, this only has an override for red, which I can't even get to work, and doesn't have an override for yellow or green. But if this was, say, you had 2 circuits, you had the basic signal, and they had like a plug-in for like a sensor, say, and the 2 circuits were separate, you could switch between the sensor and overriding values, which, in my opinion, would be better. But for now, it works, so I can just send a train over it. Oops. Just send a train like that. Furthermore, these signals require smooth DC, which is not particularly clear in the instructions. I must say I made the mistake about that, but it has to be really, really, really smooth DC basically, or else the light's just flickering, it doesn't work at all. Now that we're done with the electronics of this signal, I'll move on to the detail. So in your pack comes the rails and the ladder. Now these, if you can get it right, will look very, very detailed. One of the things I found with train check sprues is that, the things which you cut them off, is that when you cut them off, the bits that break will be the parts, because the sprues, the sprues are bigger and thicker than the parts, which for me, I think could be improved, maybe, but it just depends how skilled you are at getting pieces out of a sprue, really. Right, so this signal is very detailed, like all train tech signals. So you have the metal pole, the LEDs, the very detailed signal head. There are basically not many improvements I can think of at all on this model in terms of detail. So thank you for watching this Tech and Trains channel video. If you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section also. Please comment, like and subscribe. And thank you for watching this Tech and Trains channel video.